YouTube. Welcome to Blake Street Banter, Road to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means. The other one's just along for the ride. Mike, say what's up.
What up? What up?
Did you like that new intro video?
It was really good. I was surprised. That was new to me. So
yeah, surprise. That is a professional intro video. Thank you, Zach, for that. Who does get paid to make videography stuff for the Colorado State Rams, and he's going to be in the house on Thursday against the Tigers. So we might get some cool videos, cool photos from Zach and the crew on Thursday. So keep an eye out for that. I'm excited for that. But last week I asked Mike Jr. what's his least favorite chore to do. What is your least favorite appetizer?
Oh, I'm gonna go like fried pickles. So I don't know if that's a hot take, but
that might be. Fried pickles, I think, are 50-50. I don't know if that's that hot.
I just don't like. I feel like appetizers are kind of a scam. It's like $10, and then you really get like one because you split it, so it's a whole. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like sometimes that's a meal. Like we'll get kids meals for all the kids, and then me and my wife would get like an appetizer, and that'll be our meal, and then we feed off of all the other ones.
Like, I got a question for you, Aaron.
Okay. Oh.
Do you think 100 men could beat one gorilla?
That's such a stupid ass argument. Yes. 100%. Yes. 100 of me, maybe not. But like, if you have like the plethora of a range of men from like low to high extremes and all the body builds and stuff, yes. 100.
I just think no one would want to go first, so people would just be like going through the motions and not really.
Oh, you got to
kind of hide in the back, and I feel like the gorilla could just humans would probably win, but if the gorilla were to win, it would be just picking off guys one by one that are just wussies.
Yeah,
I'd be one of those guys probably.
Yeah, I'm standing in the back. I'm going 98th, the 99th if I can. I am doing anything I can to negotiate to go last. But yeah, it's a fun argument. It's kind of annoying. I like all the AI generated stuff with it. But let's get into Road to Blake Street Banter. We are here to discuss the prospects, and last week we tried to look at hitting, our best hitting analysis. We are very amateurish when we come into this. And literally, I think it's kind of a challenge, a goal for Mike and I to kind of figure out what works and what doesn't. So
we're going to single-handedly fix this franchise. We've been in the lab. I know Aaron's been putting crazy stats up on the BSB Twitter. So.
Yeah, we're trying to do our best, Tyler, and then hopefully the Rockies front office recognizes Blake Street Banter as an analytics department and says, "Hey, here's $50 and some quarters for laundry."
This is why you're talking about chores.
Yeah, trying to put in the seed of the front office, but we'll see how it goes. We're not experts, but we are here for the conversation. We are here for the banter. So give us your best analytics, best hot takes when it comes to it. Before we get into all that, our Blake Street Banter, Patrick and Noah went live earlier this afternoon. So if you missed that this afternoon, it's still on the YouTube. I think I'm going to podcast wise, I'm going to post us in the morning because it's kind of been what it is. And then Patrick and Noah will be Wednesday morning. So that won't change. And then the NL West, best of the West guys, Skylar and K-Dub. I enjoy listening to them talk about baseball because they get to talk about fun stuff, but they also get to give a different perspective of the Rockies while talking about the West and how it's all correlated. And they're just way smarter than I am. So go ahead and check them out on Wednesdays. And that releases on the pod on Fridays if you are new to us. And again, we are your mama's favorite podcast. She just doesn't know it yet. Share it, send it, do all this stuff. And go ahead and leave us a 5-star review if you want. Reviews are kind of fun to read. I haven't checked them in a while. I doubt we have any new ones. But if you are there listening and you haven't done it, go ahead and holla at your boys. All right, let's get into it. The transactions. So it was kind of a quieter week this week, but we got some good news. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Alan Trejo is back. I don't know if he was back when we went live last week.
Sneakily raking, not gonna lie.
Doing exactly what it's supposed to, what it feels like. So the veteran presence, so to speak, at the shortstop with Shunk down, Tovar down. Do you know anything about Tovar update? Do you have an update? I haven't been.
I don't know. I mean, I did once Instagram DM him and he got back to me, so maybe I'll go back to that and see if he
We'll see
responds.
what happens. We'll get Mike on it, and so we'll see all that. But Alan Trejo's back. Lucas Gilbreath cleared waivers. He was released to make room on the 40-man, I think, for Trejo, but went on the 7-day IL to boot. See how that goes. But the big guy, big dog. I know you watched some Fresnos this past week, just because your weird sleep schedule. Like I'm enjoying.
I woke up like 2 hours ago, so
enjoying the 2 a.m. Text. Hey, can you check on this in the morning when you get a chance? Then I'll text you, and then I won't hear from you in the afternoon. But Robert Calaz is back. Big dog. I think he's in our top 5, top 6 on the BSB top 40 prospects. I know he's in the top 5 for the MLB.com top prospects. But do you have an update on how he's done so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's fun. Like, there really isn't any other word to explain other than he's really fun. He has some at-bats where it's really frustrating. I know I sent some in the Slack group chat where it's just like sometimes he goes up.
You were hating on Calaz.
I said he was fun. Okay, I did say some of his swing decisions were brutal, but I will say when he makes contact, even if it's like a ground ball, it's like 100 plus miles an hour.
Yeah.
There's a lot of in-zone stuff I'm worried about. He's whiffing a lot in the zone, which is something, if you're whiffing in the zone, you're going to have just bigger issues down the line. But his power is game-breaking, and he's only 19. Like
19.
He's still crazy young, so I'm not too worried about it. I also think a lot of those really, really bad at-bats were in the first, 2 or 3 games where he came back. I almost wonder if that's almost like you're looking around and everybody else has been playing baseball for a month, and you're just trying to get it all back, kind of. Like you're trying to make up for lost time, and you're just taking hacks, because he did do a lot better in, I want to say, his 4th and 5th game this week, so I'll give him that. But I mean, crazy power regardless.
Yeah, and that's always been his thing, just crazy raw athleticism. We know Chris Forbes is high on him. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays his first full season stateside, and with an injury to boot to start that, there's got to be some mind games going on in the 19-year-old's head to I need to go prove myself. I need to go do this. Something we're going to be watching. I think right now, we're all okay with bad swing decisions right now. It's when it starts getting later in the season, higher levels, we need to start honing that in a little bit and not going reverse order and just getting more swing happy, because we're seeing how that is working for the Rockies. It's not going well.
Yeah, we kind of expected this from college, though. Like we all said, 19 years old, not refined whatsoever, injury, and we already know the power's there and the hit tool kind of isn't. So this is kind of expected to have these not so great at bats. But I mean, his strikeout percentage is not bad. I think he went 2 games in a row without striking out. 2 home runs this week too. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, last week had a 1-to-1 ratio, walks to strikeouts. So 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. So if you are hacking, at least you're doing it smartly.
He had 4 in the first 2 games, so there you go.
Yeah,
ended the week really strong.
Yeah, solid. Had a double to boot in there. 5 extra base hits. 1161 OPS. So Robert Calaz is back. Also, we saw on the transactions page. Haven't seen him in the lineup yet, but we have a Charlie Condon signing, a Sean Sullivan sighting, a Jared Cande, friend of the pod, so we're going to talk about him, sighting, and Bryson Hammer sighting, which Hammer had a pretty good debut season last year, so he'll be interesting to watch go play through. But Sully pitched. I know you put some stuff out there. What are the stats like for Sully? Yeah,
it was 2 and 2/3 innings, 7 Ks, no earned runs, no walks. Just in the ACL, he's going to eat. There's a lot of young guys down there, especially guys that are just coming stateside. So, yeah, I mean, we are on Sully warning because we've seen him. We know he's here. We're still on Condon watch. We know he might be there. There's ingredients for him to be caught up. Or he'll probably play a couple ACL games. Tomorrow's big because he wasn't put on the IL. So I have a lot of confidence that maybe he was just down in extended spring training, working on the wrist. Hopefully he gets I'm assuming he's going to play a couple weeks in the ACL and then go to Spokane. So tomorrow, if he's in the lineup, I'll make sure to warn you guys.
Because you're going to be watching or wake up to a notification or something. But yeah, we're on Charlie Condon watch. It'll be exciting. So yeah, ACL action is happening. There's some Ashley Andujar. I think I saw his name on the ACL roster as well. So
I think they send a bunch of those guys up to the ACL, and I think they might send them back down. Maybe
something we're figuring out as well. So
I will say one guy to keep a note on. I'll give you guys 2 guys. Sandy Ozuna in the ACL, pitcher.
Yeah.
I think he could crack. He could be like nationally known by the end of the year. His fastball's already touching like 98. And then Wilder Dallas, elite name, and hit a home run in the first ACL game. Rakes he led DSL and RBIs last year, so there you go.
All right, you heard it here first. Remember that. And if Isaac was here, he'd have all.
Oh yeah, he would have 10 guys, and we'd just be.
So Isaac, be ready next week when you are ready for the ACL DCL. Like no other pod is going to give you ACL DCL DSL content updates like we are. So Isaac, that's going to be your segment going forward when you're listening to this. I know he's at the end of his season, ready to kind of hone in. All right, 2 Rockies players of the month. April's done. First month is out of the way. We're 4 series into it. And the players of the month were not a very big surprise. So the pitcher of the month was Gabe Hughes, Hartford Yard Goats, number 1 overall draft pick, our first round draft pick for us 2 years ago, coming back from TJ. Didn't know what to really expect. I will be honest, I was not expecting this. This is beyond my wildest dreams of how he started this year. I was like, no, there's no way we see Gabe Hughes in purple at all in 2025. Yet we might see Gabe Hughes in purple in 2025 come August. I know he might have to be protected by the end of the year. I think he's one of them. But Gabe Hughes, pitcher of the month for April, posted a 2.08 ERA across 21.2 innings pitched. That works out to be 5 earned runs. And the crazy thing is 21 innings pitched, 4 walks to that. 17 strikeouts. You'd like that to be a little bit higher. You would like to see a little bit more dominant stuff. But the Eastern League, you're okay with that. But you're not allowing a lot of hits. 0.88 whip, ranked 6th in the Eastern League in that time. Held opponents to a batting average of 197. I have yet to see Gabe Hughes pitch. Again, my life is crazy busy right now. My nights end at 9, so I'm not getting as much goats action as I would like right now. But I know he's piggybacking. I know he's going 4 or 5 innings each time. I mean, 5 starts? I think 5 starts, 21 innings pitched. So you're going 4 or 5 each time you're out there. But Gabe Hughes, I think he's exactly what we want him to be at this moment right now. We're going to see, we'll look at some of the stats going forward that we come up with later in the pod, and we'll see how it translates and how it tracks going forward and see if we're onto something or if we're just complete idiots. Probably the latter. But Gabe Hughes is here, y'all, and it's exciting.
Yeah, with Hughes, he doesn't have elite stuff. He probably is going to be probably a little below average stuff, maybe average. The fastball isn't this wild pitch. It's probably an average fastball. So for him, it's going to be landing strikes, right? And you just went over that. He's not walking anybody. He's not striking guys out, but he's getting a lot of ground balls, and that'll work at Coors. We have Tovar for a reason, so we're fine. So if he's landing, he needs to land that first pitch strike. That's massive. We'll talk about Palmquist later. It's kind of the same thing. These guys that don't have disgusting stuff can't afford to go down 3-1 in counts because they will get smashed if that happens. Palmquist has already gotten destroyed on bad counts, and unlike Paul Skeens, if you're throwing 91, they're not going to miss it if you miss it, or if it's in the zone or in the middle. So,
yep,
he has to land that. I kind of like the slider. I know the changeup's there, but I think Hughes, he definitely profiles as a 4 starter, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm right. I think that needs to be our realistic expectations because I was hoping first round pick, you're thinking 2 or 3. Ideal ceiling to 1, but I think the stuff plays as a 3 or 4 right now. You mentioned first strike percentage. He's at 55% so far this year, a little bit lower than you want to see. You want to see that around 60%. Swinging strike rate is about 10%. You want to see that around 10 to 15% going forward. So his stuff, he's getting the swings, contact rates around 76%. Which I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know if I put that in my notes. But strikes are what's going to be play at the Eastern League. And if you're getting guys out in 4 or 5 pitches, that's a win. So Gabe Hughes.
What a fun league. That's the best league in the world.
It really is. It is so much fun. There's so much talent across the board. You see some of the guys say, all right, you're a dog. Then you look them up. Yes, you're a dog. You're sitting top 10 of your organization. All right. Give us some hitting stats.
Jared Thomas, yeah. I'm gonna get the bat out of the way. 26% strikeout rate, but he's also still 21 years old. I think he was a sophomore when he was drafted. If you want a guy that can just go out there and give you anything, you want base running, Jared Thomas. You want
Yeah.
Decent defense, Jared Thomas. You want a guy that can maybe hit some home runs, Jared Thomas. You want a guy that can hit the ball and has a good hit tool, Jared Thomas. His hit tool is showing up so far. Yeah. So I mean, currently 320 average, OPS of 945, and it's cold up there in Spokane right now, and the environment's not a hitting environment, so he's killing the ball so far. I think for him, I almost think he's going to be like, I don't like this comp because I'm kind of dragging someone down here. A better Sterling Thompson, a more like usable Sterling Thompson. I think defensively he has a home, or he has a couple homes. He can really play across the diamond. I think the base running is a little better, and the defense is just, I think, going to play at Coors, whether that's in a corner, maybe even second. You can try it there. And we'll see. The contact tool is something I like, the hit tool, but we saw that with Sterling Thompson, that when he went up to AA and then AAA, that kind of faded. So it's really big for Jared Thomas. Just a guy that I feel so confident in being like a 50 out of across the board guy, 50 out of 80 across the board guy, which for the Rockies, that's a massive get.
Yeah, and I think we looked at it. He's projected to be a little bit less than league average across the board. He has a 30 hit tool, 35 game power. He has some raw power, about 50.
What site is that?
That's Fangraphs. That's
okay, because Fangraphs was wrong about Aiden Longwell last time. They were really wrong. I don't know if they got mixed up or something, but
it's mixing something up. But right now he's playing beyond all that kind of stuff, and we saw Cole Carrig and Kyle Karras play beyond their prospect grades, and so Jared Thomas, it might be that guy.
They have him as a 30 hit tool.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah,
because Pipeline has him at 55.
That's crazy.
Stats, I don't know. Maybe they're projecting like
this
now.
This is 2025 preseason. I don't know if you're seeing as like an update or an old one.
Maybe they're saying like now it's 35. Like if you were to play in the MLB right now, it's 35. Maybe that doesn't really make sense though for me, because he's a high average guy. He's gonna
rake. Yeah, he's at a 25% line drive rate. Ground ball rate's around 40. Pull percentage is about 36. You would think that'd be a little bit higher for a guy with some raw power. He would like to see some fly ball pull percentage a little bit higher, but he's hitting the ball on a line drive stack. So
can I shout out another player? I know we just talked about the two Org guys. I'll be quick here. Calaz, third baseman.
Not getting the love he deserves. Give him the love he deserves. 960
OPS. Like, he's probably the hitter of the week if Jared Thomas doesn't go out there and put nearly 1,000 OPS up there. And Karras is going to be, I mean, I know last year, I think he's going to struggle with the secondaries like most minor league players do, but he's going to rake on fastballs. And, I mean, he's not really striking out. 22% right now I'm looking at. So, I mean, Karras is just really fun. And, he Gold Glove last year, so great in the hot corner.
Yeah, he had a 1-to-1 walk rate and strikeout rate last week for his week there. It's just, I don't know, 6 total bases. Karras doesn't get enough love for what he's doing, and he does it in crunch time too. Like he is up there in tough spots, and he does do what he's supposed to. Do you see his catch? Like the catch along the
it looks like the Arenado catch is what I
very similar.
Yeah.
I think we see 1 or 2 of those every year in Hartford, and we got it early with Kyle Karras playing.
Could they not place that tarp anywhere else?
Put it on the other side. No first baseman is athletic enough to get on the tarp. So, like,
I mean, Helton would if there was a tarp there, but.
But I love seeing Kyle Karras. He deserves the love that he gets. Let's stick at Hartford real quick. Still, Cole Carrig had another giant week. He 7 hits, 9 RBIs with a home run. 6 strikeouts in his 21 at bats, but an 893 OPS, which is crazy. Jose Cordova, the one game I got to watch was awesome. Got to walk off and loved being able to watch that. It's like, hell yeah, let's go. Jose Cordova, it was just a good ball player, not outstanding. He might be a fringe major leaguer as he goes forward, but he's one of those guys that you are not mad that he's on your team. Plays catcher, will play first base, go all the way through that. And then Benny Montgomery, I will say nice things about Benny Montgomery when I can. In 4 games last week, 15 at bats. He had a homer, 5 hits along with that, and only 4 strikeouts. That ends up being a 23% strikeout rate. Still kind of high, but that is way low than what he's been at. So as long as that continues to sit around 20% down as we go forward, I am completely okay with that. We'll see how he does with fastballs. That giddy up hitch always worries me. We'll see.
Well,
how
he also, I know that there was a
plays out.
timing thing. He tried to change his swing timings. He was trying to swing a little earlier. I think this offseason I heard that was reported, and I think that really threw him off in the beginning of the year. It was just a whole different swing time, and then now I feel like he might have caught up to it. He's probably getting used to it now because those first couple of weeks were really bad, really brutal strikeout-wise. But you're not going to find a more pro Benny Montgomery podcast in place you can.
As long as it's not me talking. Yeah. I
Benny's a guy that, like, 3 years from now, he's going to resurface in Miami with, like, an 800 OPS. And we're going to be like, wow, we really didn't develop that guy the way we should.
Didn't give it enough line. Yeah, his line drive rate, I would like this to go up 23% right now. Last year was at 38, and he had solid numbers before he went down. So if he can get that line drive rate and make some better contact decisions in the zone. What about the pitching performances? Anybody stand out in the arms?
I mean, you already know my boy had a great week.
Who, Vic?
No, LeBaron. Wasn't
We're going to Fresno. Okay.
Typical dominant outing, but I'll give Alberto Pacheco his flowers. He had one start was pretty brutal. I think he had the 2-start week. But yesterday was amazing. He had like 6 innings pitched, 0 hits, 0 runs, like 6 Ks. So shout out him. I know he's really the beginning of the year was brutal for him, and I'm glad that's kind of out of the way. And granted, the stats, the ERA will probably never recover from those, or at least it will take a long time. But he's got stuff. I know the Rockies love him. So that's someone to keep your eye on. I'll give Connor Stain some credit. His first really good outing, I think he struggled a lot. He's had a lot of circumstances where I've felt bad because there's been some games where I think he's had 2 starts where they were rained out. And I can't imagine you like go through like the preparations of playing and then it gets rained out and you have to do it again. I feel like that's so weird, especially in baseball where the margins are so thin. Yeah, Brecht striking guys out like crazy. We already know that. But yeah, that's kind of all I got. Let me see. I don't want to.
Yeah, I didn't look at the pitching stats very closely. Carson Palmquist and Anthony Molina up in Albuquerque. Both went 6 innings pitched. Palmquist looked really good. We're going to talk a little bit about him later. Tanner Gordon had a nice outing, 5.1 innings pitched. Carl Kaufman had a nice relief appearance. A little worried about Luis Peralta. Rough outing, rough week. And then Dugan Darnell and Ryan Rawlston did really well. Both like went
Peralta. I'm going to be honest. I'm not worried about Peralta at all. Like he's still like super young and fastball is he's up there with like the Jaden Hill. It
gets me so nervous though when these players have solid years in the pros. And then it just isn't clicking.
We know what isn't clicking, and it's the same thing that we kind of figured. It's the breaking ball. Like, can Luis Peralta land his breaking ball strikes? And the answer in the MLB was no. And then if you're not landing that breaking ball, then they're just going to time up the fastball, and you're going to get destroyed. And we saw that time and time again. So we can just land his breaking ball, which, I mean, how many people in the system is that the issue, though? Juan Mejia and who's the guy we got? Antoine Kelly. Are kind of the same thing. If we can just land the breaking ball, we'll be in business.
Might have to. I'll start talking. You start looking up Juan Mejia, how his stats have been in the majors since he's been called up. I'm seeing a lot of Angel TV as a long reliever, which is something. We'll see how that plays out going forward. But Blake Adams, I think he had a nice outing again for the Hartford Yard Goats. Where'd he go?
There you go.
Blake Adams. No, gave up 5 runs. Never mind. I take that back. I just put my foot in my mouth. Jack Mahoney, 1 earned run across 4.2. Gabe Hughes went 5 innings, 0 runs, only 2 hits. Just want to see some of these AA guys go 5-6 innings. That's really what I'm looking for.
Juan Mejia with 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks. So pretty good so far. He has no walks either, so that's massive.
Ooh, that's awesome. If Juan Mejia,
ever since I said bad things about him,
he's proven me wrong. There was some negativity in the Slack from you.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, he was the first 2 weeks he was walking a lot of guys, and since then he's been locked in. So I'm glad that I jinxed it, and I'm happy for him.
You're welcome, Rockies Nation. Lewis is a jinx. be okay with that. Me and Tyler have been high on Juan Mejia for a while, so I like to think we were on to something with Juan Mejia. It's just minor league baseball is just a blast. I love seeing all the different parts of it. You can see the rawness at Fresno, and then you can see the talent level there at the Eastern level, and then you're just trying to see who's going to rise to the top. And right now, Cole Kerr, Kyle Karros, Blake Adams, Gabe Hughes, all these guys they're doing their thing in AA. And then they get to AAA, and you're like, all right, let's get Major League ready, right? Let's look at Palmquist. Let's see what he's doing. Let's look at Darnell. Let's look at Ryan Rollison as a lefty reliever. You can count. Rollinson's next. I'll put some responsible money down that Rollison's next as a call up.
What sports book is carrying that bet?
I'm
sure there is one. I mean,
if somebody wants to start something, holler at your boy. I'll put some random ass things out there. It's so much fun, like looking at the numbers and seeing how they're growing and doing their thing. And there's a clear divide what you want at each level, and we're starting to see that with some of these guys. And we're starting to not see it at the AAA level. That's when we start getting a little nervous.
Yeah, and they go to Oklahoma City this week, so tough matchup. I will say the minor league baseball is elite, and every single time I think about how much I love minor league baseball, I think about the box score you sent me where Hunter Stowell got a save, and then I looked into it deeper, and both teams put a position player on the mound in the 11th inning. Like, I guess like at a truce, they were just like, hey, no more pitchers. Like,
that's what we're doing.
This is the craziest ball. There's 3 innings pitched for one team with a non-pitcher pitcher.
And that should happen. And that should be a rule in extra inning games. You get like the 10th inning. Once you get to 11th, you need position players. You can bring off somebody off the bench. Let's not tire out these arms. Let's not do anything crazy.
I would say I'm anti position players pitching, but like if that could be like a strategy thing where like you have to, I'm actually kind of down for that.
Yeah.
Like if you imagine we were like, oh, Trejo, like he may not bring a lot offensively, but he has a 95 mile per hour fastball. That in extra innings would be huge.
And one of them has a knuckle that's ready to go. They've been working on that, ready to throw it in there, and just working on it on the side fields. It would be so much fun. Keep baseball fun. So if you want more stupid rules, again, holler at your boy. We can.
We have the ghost runner, so I mean anything's
possible at certain levels. 11th inning, 12th inning, 13th, and we can just keep making it more fun. So, speaking of more fun, let's look at some stats. So. Again, something Mike and I are trying to do with the help and guidance before Tyler gets back in a few weeks, figuring out what stats are good and what aren't. And so we looked at some pitching stuff. I know Mike did his own little research. I did some. I put on the Blake Street Banter Twitter the Carson Palmquist stuff, like who's next. And like Carson Palmquist is next as like a starter. I don't know what we have in Bradley Blalock. He has a few more options. Obviously, he's number 6 right now. With the starters, what happens when German Marquez is revealed that he has an injury that he's going to have to go on the IL in about a week? Ryan Feltner, how bad's his stuff? So we're going to have to start going to our depth that we
might DFA Marquez. That's like a legitimate option.
They're too loyal.
I don't think it's 10 ERA. It's tough to hold.
It's a rough thing. Yeah, it's a rough sledding right now. So Carson Palmquist is next. We're going to see Sullivan be up next in a little bit. Beyond that, though, there's not a lot of starters ready to go. So is Carson Palmquist next? That's what we're asking the question. And honestly, I have no idea. But I started looking at some of the traditional numbers. A 1.19 whip. And a 3.93 FIP. He has like a 4.2 ERA. I'm starting to like FIP a little bit more because it's taking some of the luck, the randomness out of stats. So you're looking at those, you're like, all right, that will play. You have a 1-1 whip in the PCL. That's solid. Like you're not walking a lot of players. You're giving up stupid hits. So like that's pretty solid, and you're getting out of it with the 4 ERA. Like if we're looking at quality starts for altitude. You're looking 5 innings, 4 runs. That's a good day. And so Palmquist gave that to us. And if you're looking at the TJ Stats charts on the Twitter, which I love, huge shout out to TJ Stats putting this into a fun little chart, baseball savant type chart. You can look at his stuff plus is all about league average with his four seam, his changeup, what is that, strike? I don't know what ST would be, but your you're sitting at not like a Chase Dollander type pitcher, right? You're looking at a command guy.
Sweeper. Yeah, ST sweeper.
Okay. So he has all these kind of things, right? Obviously, you have some blue fastball velocity. We all knew that about Carson Palmquist around 91. Barrel percentage is a little bit worrisome. And the out of zone swing percentage is something I looked into a little bit. You want that to be a little bit higher than what it is. Obviously, it's why it's blue. He's not getting people to chase, but he is getting people to swing in the zone for poor contact. The hard hit percentage is low. The whiff percentage is high. Zone contact percentage is where it's supposed to be, right? So you're getting some caught swinging and whiffs, 75 percentile. Good. It's like he's a strike thrower and he's pitching. He's a pitcher is what that screams to me. And then you're looking at the slider. Plays through the extension and funky arm angle. He lives in around the zone, gets weak contact. He had a 7 strikeout game earlier. Put that clip up on the Twitter thread. So he's just able to keep people off balance. If you're looking at first strikes thrown, I think that's something I'm going to put a lot of weight on as I kind of go through. 60% is a good rate for pitchers. If you're starting 6% of your at bats, you're going to have better results than 50-40%. Go look at Roki Sasaki's numbers if you want. Nasty stuff, but he's throwing fastballs 75% of the time first pitch, and the splitter's not hitting, and his first pitch strike percentage is like 50%. It's not good. And we see some of his struggles going with that. Nasty stuff. Carson Palmquist on that first strike, 60% is good. He's about 57%. His swing and strike percentage is around 14. That's the MLB level. That's the league average for the MLB level. So if he's able to continue to limit hard hits, stay in the zone, limit traffic the way he's supposed to be, he's going to be all right. He's not going to come outlandish. You have the pitchability. You have the defense behind you that you're going to want it. This says, I think Carson Palmquist is going to be okay as a starter. What have you read it? You've thought about it. What are your kind of takes, rebuttals to any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I like his arm angle. Like, I think you look at the extension plus the wacky arm angle, it's tough to read out of the hand, and it comes at you quick. Like, it's like an 89, 90 fastball, but it comes at you at like 93. Still not amazing, but for a guy that's able to locate as well as he is, that's great. The ground ball percentage is really worrying me.
Yes.
I mean, if that keeps up, he's going to get torched at Coors. I mean, just all around, he's going to be a guy that's going to have to like nibble at the strike zone, and he can't go behind in counts. I was just looking up he's been getting killed in these 3-1 counts, 2-1 counts, 3-0 counts. That's where he's been getting. I mean, obviously that's where most of the damage will be done, but especially if you're only throwing 90, like they're going to destroy that. I like the sweeper, although I think the sweeper, his stuff just isn't amazing, and so it's something. If you go to Coors, will it be able to play? Or it's so tough because in my mind, I have the two guys on my shoulder here. Like, one guy's telling me, oh, he doesn't have a lot of spin rate, so the Coors won't affect it as much as it would other pitchers. The other guy on my shoulder is telling me, oh, his stuff is already average. It's just going to become worse, and he doesn't have a fast fastball. But I think all that is kind of negated by the extension. It's just an interesting player, wacky player, a good 4 or 5 guy. I think he's probably going to have a really rough start to his Coors career. But I'm excited to see 2 or 3 years from now, how he's developed into a solid pitcher.
Yeah, and seeing how he continues to make his stuff a little bit nastier, because you see pitchers tweaking and messing with their arsenal a little bit, adding more vertical break, adding more horizontal break, adding this or that to make their stuff a little bit nastier for what they are, right? Like, that's what's made Garrett Cole's so much better. Like, we see Kyle Freeland adding a sweeper this past year. Like, they're all getting a little bit better with their stuff. And so if you're already able to command the way he's able to command with a 91 mile per hour fastball, sure, but that's probably looking 94, 95 with the funkiness, with the extension. And I think that's the part that plays. That's what's helped Kyle Freeland be so productive. I think Carson Palmquist's stuff is a little bit better than Kyle Freeland. So there is some of that coming into play. One other stat I was looking at was the CSW. So exactly what is it? Was it called strikes and whiffs? So being able to get people to look, but also getting them to miss the pitch. He's at 28%. Good league stuff is around 30 to 35%. So he's a little bit lower than average with his called strikes and whiff rate. So I think that's just a number for the stuff. How nasty is it? You want that to go up a little bit as he continues to go through and tries to set up pitchers. And to put this with perspective, throughout Dollander's stuff in the minors was all below league average. So all the numbers that we just gave about Carson Palmquist, all of Dollander's stuff in the minors was worse. But we know why that was with Dollander. Like the location of pitches, the relying on the fastball was a little bit heavy. Too many walks, I think the fastball was the biggest part. But we're seeing his stuff play pretty well. The home runs are still an issue at the major league level. But Bradley Blalock, his first pitch strikes in AAA is about 44% over the last 2 seasons. These are just AAA numbers. This does not include his major league numbers. His CSW, 24%, which is still less than Carson Palmquist. The outside swing percentage, so getting people to chase and go for it, 26, Carson Palmquist, 27. But the biggest thing for me was Blalock's swinging strike percentage. It went from 15% last year to 10% this year. Carson Palmquist is around 13%. So as nasty as we thought Blalock was in spring training, that wasn't translating at the AAA level. Part of that might have been relief role, figuring out that, the up and down of where am I supposed to be next week, this week, that kind of stuff. But we're seeing Bradley Blalock struggle at the major league level, and that kind of gives us a bar to predict what Carson Palmquist might be. Carson Palmquist will get called, but it's not going to be crazy lights out.
I think Palmquist is a better fit at Coors than – I think Blalock is one of the worst fits at Coors, to be honest. So I think Palmquist – look, I'm not expecting this guy to be like a 4-year, or 3 or 4 ERA guy. Like, he'll probably be like a 4.5, 5.7, 4.7, 4.8 guy. But if you get a guy that can just go out there and not implode, and you're at Coors, like, I don't know if you saw the Jeff Passan article about Coors.
No, I refuse.
That came out. It was the whole thing was like, 6 runs feels like nothing. Like, if that's the case, Palmquist is fine. Like, I'm not worried about Palmquist because I don't think he's going to have these disaster starts. I think like you kind of know what you're getting with him. You're getting this solid pitcher that's going to eat innings that, quite frankly, compared to what the Rockies have had the past 5 years, will look very good.
Right. And that's what he's been able to do at the minor league level is not have crazy bad outings. Of all of his starts this year, 4 of 6 have gone 5 innings. No more than 3 runs have been allowed. 3 earned runs have been allowed in those outings, except for his very first start of the year where he allowed 4 in 4.1. So he's limited that damage. 4 of those 6, 2 walks or less. 3 hits, 1 hit, and then the other 2 games, 5 and 6 hits. So he's just pitching. He's just getting guys to make poor contact in the zone, and he's getting guys out. The ground ball rate, big concern. Fly balls are going to carry. They're going to have the unlucky BABIP type stuff hits with it. But I think all the other numbers, again, amateur analysis, are saying like, all right, I think he's going to be okay. He's a good 4 or 5 starter. You have Dollander, Feltner, Sullivan could be at the 3, and then put in Palmquist around the 4 and see what happens. So I think Carson Palmquist will be a major league pitcher that sticks around for a little bit because of his ability to get guys out and be able to pitch.
Yeah, and I'm going to point out there's things that in the PCL, mainly Albuquerque, that are variables that we don't really know how it's hurt him. One thing, in Albuquerque, it's one of the drier environments in all of baseball, especially compared to MLB, where like The only really dry environment is Arizona, but that's in a dome, so it doesn't matter. It's harder to grip the ball and throw the ball when it's super dry out. I've been doing a lot of research on the PCL, and that's one thing I learned, and I was like, oh, that's really only affecting us and a couple other PCL teams. You have that. You have ground balls are crazy there because of the dryness, and also you got a lot of crazy elevation. So you've already seen him at elevation. When next segment, I want to bring up I want to see if he's played at Salt Lake or one of those really high elevation ones. So there are some variables that we don't really know, and I think that can help him in the MLB. Like there's a lot of stuff that I think hinders his ability to pitch at the PCL. And, you go to the MLB, granted you're playing half your games at Coors, but you're not dealing with the dryness or quite frankly, Albuquerque. Sometimes I throw on that broadcast and it's like the camera's shaking because of wind. And it's just stuff
crazy.
Like that.
Yeah. So things that we're watching for. So our guinea pigs are going to be Carson Palmquist and Yanquiel Fernandez going forward. Seeing what that looks like. Obviously, there's the park factors, there's the league factors, and all that goes into play. Spin rate, zone stuff going, so to speak. I think that's where Tyler really butters the bread of stats that we don't necessarily aren't able to do the way that Tyler does. So when he gets on here, we'll see what his kind of takes are, and we're just going to try to be smarter as we look at some of these. Like we've been talking about OPS and slugging, like, yeah, these guys are really good, they're ready, they're going. But it's sweet to see Zach Veen do his thing at the PCL, but like, is his stuff ready? We could have told you the fastball was going to be an issue, but
okay. So I do have
go ahead.
So he's played 6 games, 3 of them at home. 2 of those have been in Reno, where the elevation is 4,500. So still crazy elevation. He had one in Sugar Land, which is not high, but you played 5 of your 6 games in stadiums that are 3,500 higher than the MLB average, or higher than the second highest MLB stadium, Chase Field, which is at like 1,000.
Yeah. So
he's played in crazy elevation already. So I kind of like, now that I'm looking at that, he hasn't done it. Like sometimes you look at these guys and you can get kind of lucky in the PCL. You can go to Tacoma or these places that don't have crazy elevation and kind of pick off wins there. But he's done it in probably the 2 craziest environments. So there you go.
That's there. And you're seeing some of the adjustments made. If you go look at his AAA stats from 2024 to his AAA stats through 6 starts in 25, there's a clear difference between, all right, I'm figuring this stuff out, where we weren't seeing that a lot with some of these other pitchers. Noah Davis comes into mind. Love that guy. I hope we'll probably face him. He's an OKC Comet right now. He's up and down with the Dodgers, so we'll probably see him. But you just didn't see like that next step, that next level. We saw Carl Kaufman just hasn't been able to figure that out over the years. We were seeing with Jeff Criswell, which is disappointing that he's on the IL. So it's looking at those adjustments that you want the major leaguers to make every single season. We want to see that at the AAA level. So like maybe this, like what is the AAA level for Colorado and everybody in the PCL? How do you take in these accounts? And I don't know, maybe this is us trying to figure out, all right, let's see how this plays out and see how this works. And when we're right, we're going to probably not brag about it too much, but we'll let you know that we're right. And when we're wrong, we'll probably not say anything about it. So follow along with us. If you have your theories, again, put it in the chat. Go ahead and leave us a review. Follow us on Twitter. Send us all this kind of stuff. It's a fun conversation. It's the whole point of all of this.
I will say this Comets team looks insane. You have Dalton Rushing, Alex Freeland's a great prospect, Michael Chavis, James Outman, Esteury Ruiz, and they've claimed Kershaw in rehab this week too. So, and then you also have like a guy like Landon Knack, Bobby Miller. Like that's insane.
Knack will probably get called up. Bobby Miller,
JP Fireeisen.
That's a sweet name.
That's a crazy team.
That's stacked. Fucking Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers. Skip the Dodgers in the comments and all the people involved. So we'll be watching. We'll be following along. Follow us on Twitter. We're trying to do a little bit more with Instagram as well. It's hard to keep up with it consistently like we are on the Twitter. So go follow us on the x.com machine. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Not really. Nothing. Yeah.
Okay, let's start ending these with our prospect prediction of the week. So pick a prospect that you might watch a little bit more this week, and who you think you just want to see go off.
All right, you go first.
All right, I'm gonna watch a Spokane Indians game this week. Hopefully they're televised. I think everything's televised in the Northwest League, and I'm gonna be watching an Aiden Longwell very closely. So my boy, he is my player, my tracker that we picked at the beginning of the year. But I'm gonna watch an Aiden Longwell at bat. I'm gonna try to find time to do that. Rockies are playing Tigers these next 3 days, so I will be tuning into that a lot. Job versus Dollander tomorrow night. Like, if you're gonna watch one Rockies game, is that game. Job is nasty. Like, it's a solid 1-1 prospect pitching thing. Aiden Longwell,
must say, you were talking about televised games. I think the last Spokane game that wasn't televised was Chase Dollander's start, first ever start. So
yeah,
shout out to them for not televising it. Wasn't their fault. They weren't the home team, but I'm gonna look at Braden Ward. I feel like we haven't said his name this whole year, and he's sneakily this guy sneakily is a very good prospect. He's not going to be in prospect list because he's 26, but we see guys like this all the time blossom into MLB players. He's got the speed. He's striking out only 23% of the time. He's walking 16%, which a Braden Ward walk is basically a double. So.
Yep.
We're taking that. 298, 812 OPS, ranking in the Eastern League. Also, you got to watch the Goats, so I'm going to pick Braden Ward.
Yes, and he has 7 stolen bases in 47 at-bats, so that's awesome. Yeah, love me a little B Ward action up there. I mean, you got Cole Carrick, Braden Ward out in the outfield. Like, is anything dropping? Benny Montgomery, like, that's
no
crazy athletes out there in Hartford. So Braden Ward, Aiden Longwell, those are the ones that we'll be watching. And tell us who you're watching. Go ahead and leave us a review. I'm watching whatever. Go Rocks and the minor league affiliates. Woo! I hit it. I